Welcome to Let's Talk Nourishment, where we go beyond food and into the habits that truly nourish. I'm Abigail Parker, nutritional therapy practitioner, here to help you simplify wellness. For today's episode, I am thinking this is going to be something that so many of you listening are going to connect with, because we are talking about something that comes up all the time in conversations with my clients, because it is something so important that we don't just think about on a daily basis, and that is mindful eating. When I say mindful eating, many people are thinking about trying to make better food choices, being more mindful of the food that you're actually eating. But really, there's so much more to the story. It goes down to how you're eating your food, because how you're eating can be just as important as what you're eating and really be a game changer and how you're feeling physically after you're eating and mentally too. So I have a very special guest with me today. This is Sherry with me, who participated in a 30-day mindful eating challenge that I hosted for the month of June. And so I am looking forward to being able to talk with her and have her share her experience in this challenge. So Sherry, if you just want to start off saying hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. So first, I want to just explain a little bit more about what mindful eating is. So I mentioned it is about how you're eating more than what you're eating. And it really comes down to connecting more with your food and slowing down. And so the challenge was essentially 3 steps. It was trying to be more mindful to sit when you eat, limit your distractions, and chew your food. I'm curious, Sherry, I mentioned too, whenever people think about mindful eating, often they think about the making better food choices. What came to your mind whenever you first had heard of mindful eating before you learned what the challenge was?
Just probably I was going to have to change my diet.
Right?
That's
That's
what I
often
thought it
what we,
was.
yeah, that's so easy when we're thinking about being mindful of our food choices. We're thinking, oh, I have to pick better foods to eat. I want to cut out the crap, right?
Right.
So when you learned what the challenge was, thinking about slowing down, had you considered yourself to be a fast eater or eating while distracted?
Oh, of course. With running a business and kind of on the go, absolutely.
That's a very common thing for us because we're busy people. There's always something that we need to be doing. And so eating has become something that is just another thing on that to-do list, right? Where it can
Right.
be where we're saying, oh, I just need to eat real quick so that I can get back to work, XYZ. So it's very easy for us to be eating while we're distracted or getting in a quick bite. Whenever you first got started with this challenge, or before you even got started with this challenge, what was your relationship with food like? Because I know that you have been on this journey already of trying to eat better and making better food choices.
So, my downfall is sweets, like most people.
Mm-hmm.
And I followed a strict protein diet that so many people had mentioned because I'm on a weight loss journey as well. And it seemed to get real stressful having to read the labels and making sure you're getting this amount of protein. And you just concentrated on that kind of a lot. And once I started the mindful challenge and realized that it's about my body, not about all these labels, it helped out so much.
I love that. I love that just being able to be more present with food helps you realize that it's more about how you're feeling than what you're eating, because there are so many different diets out there. And the reason for that is because of the fact every body is different. What works for your significant other, for your best friend, is going to be potentially different from how is going to be the best way for you to eat. So I love that it kind of gave you a little bit more freedom to be able to pay attention to yourself as opposed to feeling a little bit more strict, it sounds like.
Right. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel good.
I love that. So, whenever you started doing this mindful eating, would you say that it was something easy to get into the new habit? Because it was a 30-day challenge, so it was a focus for 30 days. Going back to the beginning, how did it feel?
I think it was pretty easy to get in that mindset until I went on vacation for about a week. And that was a little bit harder because you are a little bit more on the go. But the rest of the month, it was pretty easy.
And that's something cool about the mindful eating practice is the fact that it's very easy to take with you. You know,
Yes.
you are on vacation, and while you're saying, like, oh, it was a little bit more difficult for me to think about it because I was out of my normal day to day routine, it's still something that's on your mind that you're able to do. It's not that you're on vacation and all of a sudden it's out the window and you're having to feel more guilty about food choices. Because often that happens whenever you're trying to eat better on vacation, that it feels like you can't. It's kind of that all or nothing. I'm either eating how I want to or I'm not. But with the mindful eating, it's still something that you can be like, hey, I'm going to still be slowing down when I'm eating and paying attention to my food so that I'm feeling better.
Right. Yep.
I love that. So, the big thing that you really noticed was stress went away whenever you started just slowing down when you were eating.
Yes.
And that's something that I had talked about with the challenge. There's so many benefits to mindful eating, being physical and mental. So let's talk about that mental piece a little bit. Whenever we are trying to eat better, it can be overwhelming. Again, going back to putting some food rules on us of trying to eat a certain way. I know I've been caught up in that as well, of eating only good foods and not eating bad foods. But whenever you are eating more mindfully and you're paying just more attention to how the food is making you feel, it can take a lot of that stress off of your plate. And it also comes down to then when you're being more mindful and you're actually sitting down and paying more attention to your food, then it can take away some of the actual stress eating that you're doing or the boredom eating that you're doing, kind of that emotional eating component that often can go with reaching for food as a comfort because you're taking the time to pay more attention to your food as opposed to I'm just grabbing because I feel like it's something I need. When you have that kind of forced pause of I'm going to sit down before I actually am eating. Is that anything that came up for you with kind of that emotional side of eating?
It did. It helps. I mean, it tremendously helped a lot. Um, I'm more cautious. Um, it's been easy. Like the month of July has been super easy to continue doing that from June. Um, even after I got sick a couple days last week, it was still pretty easy to continue mindful eating.
Which is so amazing to hear because that really says a lot whenever it's a 30-day challenge. So obviously, like 30 days, you're focused in on the challenge, but here it is, we're 9 days past the challenge as we are talking about this. And you are still like, hey, I'm still sticking with it. Because often when it comes to trying to eat better, again, if you're going to that mindful eating of, well, I'm going to eat better for me foods, then it can be really easy to lose track. You have to get back on track versus this mindful eating thing. You're like, hey, I did it. And it's easy that I felt good about it where I'm continuing on with it now.
Yes.
I love that for you. Now, something that we haven't talked about is did you deal with bloat at all?
Yes. A
Did
lot.
you notice anything with bloat?
I don't have any now.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that I asked that. That's
And
amazing.
I
So
think it's helped
this
my weight loss journey as well. I've been able to lose quite a bit more weight. So that's a positive for me.
Yes. So those hand in hand, we're going to talk about that. So mindful eating, I love for the physical benefits you get. The mental is awesome, the physical is awesome too. So many things because whenever you are eating, we think about the fact that our stomach digests our food. And so we eat and it does its job. But digestion starts before we're even taking that first bite of food. If you have looked at food or you smelled food and your mouth started to water, thinking about, oh, this is going to taste so good, that's your body ramping up digestion. So, whenever you are being more mindful to sit down and actually pay attention to the food in front of you, it is making your digestion actually work better. And so, it can make it so that you're getting rid of bloat if that's something that you deal with. And even too, I love the fact that you mentioned, like, hey, I noticed that it's helped with my weight loss because so often when we eat, all of a sudden it's like I'm so stuffed. I was so hungry and now I need to unbutton my pants because I've eaten too much. And that is because your gut and your brain are talking, and if you're eating too fast, by the time your gut and your brain actually are able to say, like, oh, hey, I'm full, you've gone beyond that full point. So I've had clients I've worked with who are plate cleaners, where anytime they're eating, they feel like they have to clean every bite off of their plate. And once they incorporate this mindful eating component, all of a sudden they're like, I'm leaving food behind on my plate. I'm not eating as much and I'm feeling more satisfied with the food that I am eating. Did you notice that any of that difference in your plate then?
Yes, and then once I started noticing that, then I just take less. My portions have become smaller, and it's satisfying.
Yeah. Because so often, whenever you're trying to figure out portion control, you're trying to weigh your food or measure your food, and it gets to be really
Yes,
complicated.
I've done that in the
And
past too.
yeah. But whenever you're just being more in tune with your body, like you've talked about, you're able to more naturally eat the amount of food that you're needing to eat. It makes it so much easier. So I really love sharing all of the benefits that you've noticed from mindful eating, because everything that I will tell people, like, hey, mindful eating can help with this, you've noticed. So I'm so glad that it happened to work out that you were like, hey, yeah, I'm willing to talk with you about it.
Yes.
What piece of mindful eating has helped the most? I'm curious because I mentioned it's a three-step process of making sure you're sitting, trying to limit distractions, and chewing your food more. So, of those three pieces, did you notice that one was something that stood out to you more?
I think sitting there just concentrating on just eating and not all the distractions, that definitely helps a lot. A lot more than I thought it would.
Yeah, because it's so easy to be like, oh, I have other things that I need to do. So I'm going to sit and get work done while I'm eating, or while I have a break, I'm going to scroll my phone.
Right.
So whenever you're
Absolutely.
limiting, and that
Yep.
helps
And
so that you're eating the right amount of food again, where you're not just kind of eating and then reaching that full point without realizing it, especially.
yep.
That's
Yeah, I've let
awesome.
go a lot of distractions when I'm trying to eat, especially the phone, because that's that's how you get your business.
Yes, and so giving yourself that pause, I'm sure has been really nice, because then you're not only noticing like, "Hey, it's making me feel better when I'm eating," but also just to give yourself a break.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome. You've had so many great benefits, Sherry. I am curious, after completing this challenge, do you think that learning about mindful eating would have been helpful earlier on, as you have been working to lose weight and making all of these other changes you've been doing on your own?
I think it would have been really beneficial if I would have known this at November, December last year. I might not have struggled in the beginning as much, but
Yeah.
I have lots of energy. I feel good all the time. So I will continue it.
I'm so glad you joined the challenge and that you've seen such great benefit from it. If only you had learned it, 7 months ago. You're saying like November, December. I'm like, oh, Sherry, that's 7 months ago now. Oh, but here you are. And you said you're moving forward. So that's what counts. And so I am really glad that you just had so many benefits from it. And it just goes to show whenever it comes to eating better, that it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be one simple change, like I'm going to slow down and pay more attention to my food, that can give you all of these benefits. So
Yes.
I want to say, if you're listening and you found this episode to be interesting and you're curious to learn more about mindful eating and all the other wonderful goodies that I teach, I am going to be launching a new group coaching program in August that I think that you will love. So the best way to learn more is to make sure you are getting emails from me. If you were on my email list, you're going to always be in the know as to what is going on for Nourished Revival. And as a bonus, when you sign up to get emails from me right now, you are also getting my free guide, which is 10 chat GPT prompts for stress-free meal planning, which I introduced in last week's episode on how I use ChatGPT to make meal planning easier. So if you haven't listened to that episode, be sure that you do. But you can visit nourishedrevival.com/free to sign up to get emails from me and to also get that ChatGPT prompt guide to make your meal planning easier. It is awesome. And then also the link is going to be in this episode description for ease. So all you have to do is click it and you'll get there. So thank you so much again, Sherry, for being on here. Is there anything else that you want to add before we close out, though?
I don't think so. It's been a great journey. I'm glad I met
Awesome.
you.
Oh, I'm so glad, Sherry. It's been so wonderful talking with you and to be a resource for you. I am just really, I'm grateful for you. So thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.